Peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. You know who this is. Crypto B-Boy coming at you. Hey, people. I hope you're not worrying anymore. I hope you're not being affected by FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I hope you're trying to study, trying to learn about the asset, the digital asset that you have invested in and know more about it. Allocating your portfolio, to move what you have to move, take profit if you are able to, because you have a good amount of money like that to do so. You're not like the type of people who live check to check that have to only let their assets sit until they appreciate. And I know how that feels. Or, you're a single person, you got free money, you can do a lot more with your money, you can have a whole lot of bags. You got to think about what you have that is a blessing. Don't, underestimate the blessings that you have. Some of you who have extra money can do a lot more with your money. You can, like I said, allocate, your portfolio, meaning readjust it. If you have to move it to one other crypto that is making you money, which right now most of the cryptos are not doing much as far as to make anyone any money, unless you are shorting, the market. And like this, you know how to trade like that. You know how to make those moves. You have to learn. You have to study. You have to have the mindset set in the position that which you're going to be as an investor, as I said already. We're living in struggling times. I mean, financially on so many levels. Geopolitically, we're being affected. The financial markets are being affected geopolitically in a big way with the war, Strait of Hormuz, all this type of stuff with Iran, what America has gotten into over another country, that really wanted them removed for a lot of years and been talking about the same thing. And America goes to war for them, and they're not even barely in the war. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? We have to deal with what we have to deal with, because we're the regular people. We're being governed by these people. We're being governed by the incumbents. We're being governed when it comes to finance, when it comes to the bankers is concerned. They have a lot more influence over the system to control the regulations that go through, because they're gonna lobby it to the fullest extent. You understand? They have money, they have position, they have so forth. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to move around it, maneuver, or give up. It's up to you. But don't give up over FUD, meaning because you're not sure about what you have and you don't know what you have, you don't know what you hold. That's sad. That's just a unfortunate, sad disposition for any human being that has right mind to even go into being an investor. I mean, you got to look at where you went. You went from somebody who was just working a job or whatever, even if it's a good income you're getting, or you're getting a check-to-check income like myself, because I have a whole lot more responsibilities with my money anyway. I have a lot, my money has to spread thin with all that I have, my children, my wife, a lot more responsibilities than a regular single guy or even a female who has a nice apartment and they have a nice, pretty good job and they got money coming in and all their bills is paid. Like you're a middle class person, even though the middle class is dying out. Count your blessings. You really need to do that. And I'm not just saying that because who I am as a Muslim. We always have to, because that's part of our faith. That's part of everyday life. Our faith is an everyday thing. That's just me. That's just us. But I'm not here to push my faith on anyone. You just do what you do best for yourself, and take yourself away from the uncertainty and the doubt. Of course, the fear that led to it. FUD is a disease of the mind at the time, and an emotional disease that affects the people, and they don't know that you're losing as an investor with that type of mentality and mindset. You need to know what you hold. So do study, spend time doing that, as well as you can accumulate on a discounted level of that said asset that you have in your portfolio that has clarity that is going to do well in the future, if not now, because we're still early. Things are still being done. We're still waiting for the Clarity Act. We're still waiting for bills to be passed. We're still waiting for regulatory clarity, let's say it again, for the American markets. And they're the the superpower, the world's superpower for markets as well, besides on a military level, in a military position. They're not just military, the first, as we know as America, the first world first world rulership empire. They in military, but also finance. So a lot of people are influenced, a lot of countries are influenced by what happens with America. And those of you who have been in these talks, in these places and spaces like on Twitter and so forth, and listening to people have gone over this so many times. And if you're new to crypto, you need to get with the people who know, like myself and others that could be trustworthy. Trustworthy, you can trust them, because you got to be careful too. There's a lot of scammers out there. But get with someone that you can trust. That's basically what you need to do. And learn about the assets, learn about these digital assets, learn about some of these that are now have been given the classification of commodities through the DTCC. Come on now. It is what it is. Anyway, till next time, stay with it. Dollar cost average, of course, with being mindful that you have to have a price point, like I heard from one of the well-known social media persons on TikTok, and she made a good point. Can't remember her name, but shout outs to her. And she said, she had reminded me of what I already knew, is what I just don't bring it out when I speak about dollar cost average, DCA, when you're buying what you can buy and afford. And right now, a lot of cryptos are discounted in their prices, unlike what it was before that time, where it was higher to purchase these cryptos. Now it's at a very discount prices, and people don't understand. But there are some cryptos that are going to be worth anything, that are not going to be worth anything. We understand, but you have to learn about that. And then there's the ones that are. And those are the ones that are integrated into the system. And blockchain is not going nowhere. That's the technology that will be here into the future for finance, as well as other, like tokenization. Some of you might even not know that word, but if you do know about it, it's very, very important to understand it, because it will be part of the system. CBDCs will be part of systems of countries that are going to implement this, and they already have implemented it, or they already started. This is part of the system. Fintech is financial technology is the future, and fintech companies are in. They're in like Flynn. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be like Amazon. They're going to be like Microsoft. They're going to be like all these big companies, tech companies, Ripple included. Know that. Big time. So for y'all who have this doubt and fear, I'm saying it out of order, but FUD, come on. And I'm saying this again, this is like a part 3, I guess I could say, for this video, to try to help people. It's sad. But anyway, like I said, I'll be back maybe in another video trying to talk a little bit about mindset, get your mindset together. What are the things that can help you to get your mindset together, maybe make you feel better and comfortable of what you are invested in, and hopefully, God willing. All right then, till next time, peace and blessings. Keep up the lessons. This is Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.